Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing a modified Ford Bronco Raptor, aka the Rubicon Devourer. I think that's kind of extreme, but anyways, before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Carl Malone Ford and Chevy here in Park City, Utah for giving me some time with this Bronco Raptor. This is part of their pre-owned inventory, so if you're looking for a new Ford or Chevy or really cool pre-owned car, just check out their inventory in the description down below. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So under the hood, we have a turbocharged 3-liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. It puts out 418 horsepower and then just over 440 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So we're going to be focusing on the modifications with this Bronco Raptor and some of the stock stuff with this Bronco Raptor that make it a Rubicon Devourer. So first off, this has a bumper from Addictive Desert Designs. You can see the cool light bar that's built in. We also have a winch as well. And so that's obviously, the light bar is going to help out with visibility, and then you can see the light pods there on either side. Also going to help out with visibility, but the winch is going to help out with the crawling side of things. Raptors are all about high-speed off-roading. We'll kind of talk about the elements that lead to that, but having that will give this more capability in a crawling scenario. And when you look at it on the Bronco, frankly, it looks cool. Now, this is stock with the Bronco Raptor, but it comes with 37s wrapped around 17-inch wheels from the factory. The biggest factory tire you can get on a Wrangler is 35s. Wimpy, right? So with these 37s, it gives the Bronco Raptor a ton of ground clearance. It's got like 13.1 inches of ground clearance. Absolutely crazy. And then you guys can see the giant fender flares there. That's because of the width of the Bronco Raptor, and you can kind of see with the side view. Just like an F-150, Raptor's got a really wide track. That's for stability at high speeds. And speaking of high-speed stuff, this does have Fox shocks. They are adjustable automatically, which is really cool. So basically, as you're driving, they'll adjust, and I think it's like 300, 400, 500 times per second. I can't remember. It's a massive amount, but crazy shocks. And we have these custom rock sliders here added to this Bronco Raptor, also to help out in a crawling scenario. And this one has these side steps, which help out with getting in and out. And then in the back, you guys can see that, yes, we in fact have the whole beadlock setup with this. So the wheels with the Bronco Raptor from the factory are beadlock capable, but you obviously have to kind of modify things a little bit if you want to do a true beadlock, which again, in a crawling scenario is what you want, so you can go to the lowest possible PSI, get the most amount of grip. And so as you can see with the exterior stuff that's been added to this, it makes this Bronco Raptor a lot more capable at low speed off-roading when it's already very capable at high speed off-roading. And this leads us to inside the Bronco Raptor. So first off, this carbon fiber, it helps out with off-roading a massive amount. I'm just kidding. So adjustable shocks, that obviously makes, you know, for a more comfortable ride off-road, which is a really nice thing. And then we have a stabilizer bar disconnect with the Raptor. We have front and rear locking differentials. We got Ford's trail turn assist as well. And then we have an advanced four-wheel drive system with a ton of off-road drive modes. I gotta move that okay out of the way. So you guys can see we've got regular off-road mode, we got a Baja mode, we got a rock crawl mode as well, and then you got your on-road modes there on the other side. But yeah, this has a lot of different modes for off-roading as well as a lot of advanced off-road tech. We got 6 auxiliary switches with this bad boy as well. And these seats are great for off-roading. Obviously high speed because they got like bolsters to keep you in place, but even for the low speed rock crawling, having aggressive bolsters is nice so that you don't slide all over the place as you're sliding, potentially sliding all over the rocks. And then the last thing that I want to mention before we take it out and drive it is the 360 camera system. So the aftermarket bumper does get in the way of the front camera, but this has a really good 360 camera system with good resolution. And so that's also a nice thing for the low speed rock crawling so that you can, you know, somewhat spot yourself in a way. Let's talk about visibility in this Rubicon Devourer. Here's visibility over the head. I'm having too much fun with this. Both the mirrors, throughout the rest of the rear. And let us set off. Don't worry, it's just one of the beadlocks settling in the back there, I suppose. But yeah, this is actually a pretty cool review because this one also has like 10,000 miles on it. It's a used, it's a pre-owned 2022 Bronco Raptor. So I guess this is also a used Bronco Raptor review. See how this is held up. And I'm sure, I mean, it looks like with all the stuff that the person put on this isn't, the modifications on this are not aesthetic. And so I'm assuming the person took this off-road. And so it looks like this is, I mean, this is held up really well for something that's probably, you know, seen a thing or two in its existence as a vehicle. I just drove a couple Raptors, F-150 Raptors before this. It's crazy how much different this feels than the F-150 Raptor. It's so different. Like, they both have Raptor in the name, they both have 37s, but this just drives way different. Obviously more noise, not nearly as much cabin insulation as the F-150 Raptor. Ride quality is also a little bit different, a little bit bumpier, but even though it weighs barely less, it feels like quite a bit smaller. Such a strange thing. It's such a strange thing. But yeah, here's a couple benefits. So I drove my Wrangler up here today. This has slightly better sound insulation compared to the Wrangler, so that's a benefit first, and right off the bat. And then the next thing is it's a little bit more comfortable to ride. And then on top of that, it's more like a car, because even though it's bought in from like the Wrangler, it's got what's the word for it? It's got independent front suspension, and so it feels like it's easier to maneuver and everything. But the cool thing about the Bronco Raptor being on 37s and having an advanced four-wheel drive system is when you see random piles of snow and stuff like this, you can just go through. I know it's not super fast, but also not my car, so I'm not gonna be crazy with it. But like like most cars, if you go into like snow this deep, you're gonna like be concerned about getting stuck. And then this thing just, I mean, you know, four-wheel drive system's got to work a little bit, but it's not even a problem. It's pretty dang fast, honestly, for what it is, for being an off-road vehicle with 37s. Not as fast as the Raptor R, though. I drove the Raptor R, and that was not nearly as quick as this. Yeah, transmission, just like the Raptor's, super quick with the gear shifts. So yeah, I basically just wanted to review this because to like show you guys the potential with the Bronco Raptor, because everyone obviously knows the Bronco Raptor is going to be great at high-speed off-roading because it's a Raptor. But the thing that I think is really cool about the Bronco Raptor is I see it as an in-between vehicle. So I see something like a Ram TRX or an F-150 Raptor as like, it can do low-speed crawling actually pretty well, but they're so big, they're so long that it limits the vehicle. So high speed is kind of the thing there. Whereas a Wrangler, right, it's so small in the wheelbase, not only with the wheelbase, but also with the width, that it doesn't really have a whole lot of stability. And so it's like low speed rock crawling, that makes sense. High speed stuff, you know, it doesn't have the stability, so it doesn't feel great. This is a nice in between because it doesn't have the length of the trucks, but it has the width. And so, yeah, it might not be as maneuverable as the Wrangler in certain off-road circumstances because of the Raptor width that this has, but it's going to be a lot more stable. So it's, I don't know, I see it as like an in-between. Some people might see the Bronco Raptor as a jack of all trades, master of none, and I think you could see that as a fair assessment of the Bronco Raptor, because, you know, it's not going to be the you know, again, objectively, a Raptor, F-150 Raptor or TRX is going to be better at high-speed off-roading. Oh, I'm in two-wheel drive. I'm like, why am I not? I'm like, if a Bronco Raptor cannot get up a curve like this, everything that I said in this review is going to be over, but I was in two-wheel drive. Anyways, as I was saying, so yeah, the trucks are objectively better at the high-speed stuff, and the Wrangler's objectively better at the low-speed stuff, but this can do both of them. So apparently the Bronco Raptor doesn't like to reverse up stuff. Come on, 37s, don't fail me. If you can't get up a curb, how are you going to get up Moab here? There we go. There we go. You know what's funny is, this will cap off the video, is it is harder, and anyone that works at a dealership like will completely agree, it is harder sometimes to get a vehicle up a curb at a dealership than it is to like climb a rock wall or something like that. It's just, it is what it is. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this particular Bronco Raptor, and let me know if you'd rather have this than a Wrangler. I think if I was going to do off-roading in, you know, wide open desert where I'm also going to do some rock crawling, I think that's where this build would be great, because again, if you get in that tricky situation where things are difficult, you got the winch and everything to get you out, but then in those, you know, wide expanses that you have in the desert, this is going to be a lot more comfortable and a lot more stable than a Wrangler. I'll see you.